Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BGTV. Today, I want to talk about mastery. And the reason why is because I woke up this morning and I'm doing this thing where I don't want to look at a screen for as long as I can. And one of the things that I was doing was I was journaling, uh, had a little bit of breakfast. Normally, I fast for like 23 hours a day, and then eat in the evening. But due to some health issues, had something to eat this morning. Did a little bit of journaling, and one of the first things after I had gone a bit of time without looking at a screen was I was catching up on a Pelicans game, the local basketball team here in New Orleans. And I got to tell you, watching those players who are at the top of their game, some of the best players in the entire league, of the best of the best of the best, whatever, they are so fun to watch. They're so good at what they do. I grew up playing basketball. I love basketball. It's my favorite sport to play, favorite sport to watch. And to see these people who are so good at what they do, truly masters of their craft, it's just a pleasure and it's inspiring. And so that just got me thinking more about mastery and thinking about a craftsperson. Back in the days of blacksmithing to make swords to go out and fight your battles or whatever. But the truly expert masters of the craft, the people who go from beginner to journeyman to master. And the reason I'm saying it that way is because there's a great book called Mastery by Robert Greene. Definitely would suggest checking that out as far as understanding the pathway to go from a beginner to a master. And it basically involves learning the fundamentals by studying other people and how they do it, mastering how other people do it. So that in the beginning, it's mastering the fundamentals, then it's mastering how other people do it. And then that's how you become more of an intermediate. And then to become an expert, you actually have to unlearn some of what you previously learned in order to go and improve it and do it your own way and push it forward. Just a brief synopsis of how that happens. But definitely check out the book. Anyways, back in those days of making the swords and just looking at the masters of the craft of today, like even the woodworking, somebody that makes like a fine guitar, right? The people that are so good at what they do that it is inspiring to see them work. The musicians who are just unbelievably incredible, the business leaders, the spiritual gurus, whoever it is, the people that are just the top of the top of the top. Those are the people that I really admire because they've sat there and they've put in the time and they've pushed themselves and they show us what's possible. They push life forward. And so I've really been thinking a lot about that in my own life of what is a life worth living? And part of that, in my opinion, is devoting oneself to mastering skills and becoming an expert in something, becoming a master of something, developing the skills. I think probably the best skill in the whole wide world is the ability to work with people. And an underlying foundational skill to that is the ability to communicate. Candidly, that's why I create content. That's why I do the writing. That's why I do the podcasting, the video making, the interviewing. And that's why professionally I do some form of sales, is because it's all around communication and working with people. And that to me is one of the most awesome skill sets because personally, I think one of the ways to live the most fulfilling and happy and best life in the long term is the ability to create relationships with super high quality people and have those relationships extend over a long period of time. The best way to do that is to be able to be a really good communicator and really care about people, learn to understand them, learn to empathize, so on and so forth. So to me, it kind of hits both things. That's why I chose for myself the skill of communicating. But really thinking about who inspires you the most, that would be a good sign to say, hey, maybe that's the skill set I want to go develop. I want to be more like that person. Well, there's a reason why. And typically there's a skill set underneath what they're doing or why they're doing what they're doing in a certain way or something about them. Typically it's a skill set that underpins all of those things. I know I am often inspired by tremendous investors or people who have been really successful entrepreneurs or people who are great writers and great creators. And so all that really to me comes back down to communication and working with people, really people, and that fundamental underlying skill is the communication. So that's kind of how I got there. But when I decided to really make that shift of, hey, I want to be more of like a generalist of, I want to know a lot of, be dangerous and everything. And I did that for a little while and I dabbled in a lot of different things. And it's really fun while you're doing it in the very short term because you can go start this, you can go do this, you can go do that and that. But over time, it actually became a lot less satisfying because I wasn't able to really see the amount of progress that I wanted to see in any one particular thing. So that's why I reshifted, refocused, and just went 100% in on becoming a master of the craft of communication. So that's what I'm working on here. And so you literally you're seeing this play out in real time. And so I really hope that you get to find something like that. And I'm not saying I'm an expert at becoming an expert or that I am the end all be all, of course. But what I would suggest is that instead of trying to do a bunch of different things and try to be a master of 8,000 different things and have your hand in a bunch of different things, why not pick the one thing that if you were to kill it at that one thing or to become a master of that, then the person that you would become in the pursuit of that mastery, that's the person that you really want to be. And I know that I want to become a better communicator because I want to have better relationships. I want to be able to work with people because that's very fulfilling, both personally and professionally. And I really just like the idea of building a body of work that I'm writing or podcasting or doing videos or learning or whatever, that through the skill of communication, I then have this body of work that I've created over a period of time, over the course of my lifetime. So that to me is very rewarding and fulfilling. It all kind of makes sense just in the things that I'm doing. But whatever it is that you want to do, I would tremendously hope that you decide to focus in on one thing. I'll tell you, I recently had to go through the process of just cutting down different things. I was spreading myself too thin. I've done this so many different times in my career, and it is very, very enticing to say yes to a bunch of different things. And in the beginning, you're like, oh, well, maybe I can do this. And oh, this sounds like a good idea. Or if you have, for me, it was like I had a little bit of downtime in one of the things I was doing. So, of course, I'm just going to start a new thing and go pursue this and fill up my time and take all this stuff. But really, what it did was it took away from that first thing. And then instead of being able to do a really, really good or great job at this one thing, so like an okay job at a bunch of different things. So it sucked having to, in the short term, it absolutely sucked having to cut away things. But on the other side of that, and it seems almost impossible when you're in there. I literally just went through that. I was like, there's no way. I can't give up on that. That has the ability to do so much. This has the ability to do so much. And what about this? What about that? I just cut it. And I thought about the thing that I would regret the most if I didn't see through to the end, and I cut the rest. And once that cut happened, literally immediately after that cut happened, just cutting those different things out, the the peace of mind was incredible. It felt like inside it was so tight and just like, "Ugh," and then it was like a great exhale, and everything relaxed and released. And it was so, so powerful. And now this is one of the greatest moments of my life because I have the fewest number of things to have to keep track of and worry about and deal with. And so I'm able to go much deeper into those things and really give it my all and go hard in the paint. And meaning, to that's just something I say, go hard in the paint, but to really give it my all and go at something repeatedly and consistently over a period of time, and to focus on that thing and to really try and give it my all, give it 100%, and not 50% because it's this and this, but to just 100% in. That was such a big change for me. And I've already seen so much more progress in that one thing that I focused on, the honing the art of communication. And it was amazing. Like the peace of mind the quality time that I got back, the quality of my relationships with other people, which, if you remember, that was the thing I cared about in the first place, that improved almost immediately because I wasn't worried about all these different things. I wasn't worried about not being able to do a really good job at all these different things. That worry was not there because now I could focus on one thing and make sure I did a really good job there. It was incredible. So if you're in that moment where you're feeling a little bit spread thin, I know it sucks. I've literally been there. You're not alone. I understand. I promise. If you eat the pain of cutting those things out, just choose one. Just choose one and go for it. I promise you, on the other side, you'll feel so much better. You'll feel so much better. And then you can work on achieving mastery, and you can devote yourself to that. And that practice of getting better, and the practice of achieving mastery and being on that path, that is a sacred thing. That's a beautiful thing. You don't know what the outcome's going to be. You have no idea if it's going to work. You don't know who it's going to resonate with. It doesn't matter. The practice of doing that thing and coming back to it. For me, it's a daily. Every day I know I'm going to do a certain couple of things every single day that's practicing, practicing, practicing. And whatever happens, happens. But I know the practice is there. And that practice, that is a sacred thing. And that works so amazingly well on the individual because it molds you. There's this gentleman, Alex Hormozy, who said, "What we work on works more on us than we do on it." And our practice, that molds us and shapes us into the people that hopefully we want to become. If the practice is currently not doing that, or you're unsure about what the practice really is, then you have a chance to get refocused on what the practice is, to hone your practice and to get really clear on what that is. And then, because you're choosing the practice and you know what that is going to lead to, then you get to decide the person that you're going to become, or at least you get to give yourself the best chance of becoming the person you want to become because you're dictating the practice. You know what you're going to be doing day in and day out. And as a result of that, you'll be able to choose the person that you become over a period of time. And that is a beautiful thing because there are very few things we can actually control in life, but that is one of them. So hopefully that was helpful for you. I would really encourage you to dive into the book Mastery by Robert Greene. I would highly encourage you to really think about, like, am I doing too many things? What am I spending my time actually doing? Where's my effort going? Where's my attention going? What can I cut out? Be it social media, be it these little projects that pop up, be it multiple businesses or multiple jobs or multiple somethings. What can you cut away that is not essential? And what can you just singly focus on and build a practice around to become the person you want to be? I know that that has been amazing for me in my life. And I really hope that you go through those things and you get to that point to where you can feel exactly how I'm feeling right now because it's an amazing thing. And I promise you it is worth it. And then we can stick to it over the course of our lives, and we can become masters of our craft, and we can live very happy and fulfilling lives because it's probably what it's all about. I don't really know, but that's my best guess for this immediate moment. So anyways, thanks for being a part of BGTV. You're the best. I love you all.